This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the series is tied at 1. The Knicks, I tell you what, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they proved that they could throw the punch, that they could throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they did to the Knicks tonight. They smacked us. No doubt about it. They smacked us. And you know what? I wasn't sure if the Cleveland Cavaliers could play physical. They played physical tonight. You know what I mean? You know, they heard the chatter. They heard the talk. They played physical. They outworked the Knicks tonight. They wanted it more. They were more desperate. You know, they did everything that they needed to do to win the game, and they blew the Knicks out. You know what I mean? The Knicks lost by 17, but it wasn't even that close at points in the fourth quarter. The Knicks got smacked all the way around. You know what I mean? They took a beating tonight. They took a good old ass whooping tonight. That's exactly what they took from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't even know how much more you can say about it. You know what I mean? They got beat pretty bad tonight. It was rough. First quarter, they came out. The Knicks flexed their muscle a little bit, but that second quarter on, there's nothing the Knicks could do. Every time in the third quarter, they tried to shave the lead down. I think they got it down to 16, the closest in the third quarter. The Cavs come right back, knock down a 3, hit a big shot. And then to make it even worse, they played ether. They played ether. And at the same time that they was playing ether, Evan Mobley got a dunk that burned my soul. Yes, it made my soul burn slow. You dig? That burned my soul, man. They played ether, bro.
That's what ether does.
They played ether. And they did it on purpose. You know they did it on purpose. That shit got to me. I ain't gonna front. I don't even like to curse on the show, but that shit got to me. Especially because, Nas is my guy. And then looking back at the show we did the other night, when we did the Losers Lounge, and the dude was like, Nas, they got Nas, Donovan Mitchell, we got Wu-Tang, we got too many people. Then we started talking about the whole Rockefeller thing. And they had the nerve to play ether tonight. Oh, man. Got the nerve to play ether tonight. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have any rappers that we can play at Madison Square Garden when we give it back to them. What they going to play? Bone Thugs? We're going to play Bone Thugs?
I mean,
just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. Tony, what's popping, man? What's good, bro?
I mean, you can always play Crossroads.
Right. You can play Crossroads.
Get them back like that.
Ruggish.
Man, Yo Black, it's time. Shout out to the chat. I'm mad that one guy beat us and it wasn't Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? That's what's really upsetting to me right now. Definitely got to watch it back and pinpoint what was the exact turning point, because there was a turning point. You know what I mean? And like you said, they fought harder. They wanted it more. It seems like, I mean, there's a bright spot that we're up I mean, we took one, but it looks like the Knicks came in there with that in their head already, that we already got one, rather than saying let's go get two. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I was a little bit afraid of that the Knicks would come in and feel as though, just, naturally you relax a little bit. It's just a natural thing. You relax a little bit. We beat this team the last 4 times we played them. You know what I'm saying? We're up 1-0 in the series. No matter what, we go back tied. No matter what, we have home court advantage. I was afraid that they would relax a little bit. I don't know if they did. I just don't think they matched Cleveland's intensity. They couldn't match that desperation. Now they should feel a little bit more desperate because if they give up the next game, the home court advantage swings back to Cleveland. You know what I mean? But Cleveland came out. They came out like they was in a fight. You know what I'm saying? They came out like with sticks and knives and dogs and everything else. You know what I'm saying? And all they kept showing on TNT is pictures of, Knicks players hurt. Quentin Grimes with his mouth bloody. Jalen Brunson getting up off the floor. Julius Randle down on the floor at the same time. Like, make it, they put it out there to make it look like we was getting punked too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was bad. We was fumbling the ball everywhere, turning the ball over, throwing crazy passes, couldn't get into our offense. It's a tough night for the Knicks, man. Savvy, what's going on?
Ain't too much, man. Ain't too much. Hurts to see us go down like that, but it feels great to be back on the show. So I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? So them feelings kind of cancel each other out. I didn't like that Ether playing either. Okay. And if we muscle up on them and get physical with them next game and we beat them, I wouldn't be mad at MSG if they played Thuggish Ruggish Bone on the way out. All right. But you said one of the main things that I was thinking. I was like, the first game was kind of a sloppy slugfest. You know what I mean? But we kind of outdid them. We bullied them that night, and we were able to win by doing that. Tonight, they got back to being who they are, and we didn't get back to being who we are. And so that's why the scoring disparity we saw tonight. One of the main things that I saw was that in addition to our stars not really having it, they really figured out our tendencies when we don't get our first play that we intend to make. We will drive the ball and then we'll swing it like across the court. Mm-hmm. And they were ready for that. And we need to stop doing that. They were trapping Jalen Brunson, and he would try to swing it out, and they were ready for where he was going to look and where he was going to swing it to. And the physicality part of it that we did bring, we were getting in too much foul trouble at the wrong times and turning the ball over a lot. And it wasn't going the other way around. Granted, I won't blame the officiating. But overall, I came away with the sense that, their bench came up, our bench diminished. Yeah. We didn't get into our shooting, and they were making damn near everything that they tried to make. RJ Barrett scored more points, but had less of an impact this game. Emmanuel quickly still trying to find himself in this series, and Obi, I mean, I'm not even gonna mention Obi. Like, there wasn't too much to be done from a certain standpoint once he got most of his minutes, especially in garbage time. We just couldn't take advantage of his speed and his ability to break out after we get a stop, because we weren't really getting that many stops either.
Wasn't getting stops. I mean, listen, they were desperate, and they played with desperation. You know what I mean? From, and when you play when you're desperate like that, all of your senses pick up. You know what I mean? Your senses pick up. You can shoot more accurate. You know, you might be faster, stronger. You know what I mean? It's like a boost to your adrenaline being desperate. You know what I mean? And that's what they were
Absolutely.
on tonight. They were on that tonight. And the Knicks, their shooting didn't get any better. Right? The Knicks shot 27% from the three-point line in the first game. They shot 24% tonight. As a matter of fact, they got worse, down to 24% and 36.7% from the field. And then they turned the ball over 17 times.
17 times.
17 times.
Ouch.
You know what I mean?
And I felt every single one.
Yeah. They dominated the glass. The Knicks tonight, 36 rebounds. The Cavs tonight, 43 rebounds. You know what I mean? Everything that we talked about, that the media talked about, the Cavs, I'm not even going to say that they heard it. They just recognized it themselves and said, we gotta make these changes.
Yeah.
So they hit the glass better. They played better defense. They played tougher. They made shots, and the Knicks didn't. And, they got more balanced scoring tonight than they did in the previous game against us. Right, 32 from Darius Garland, 24 from Karis LeVert, who, before the game, in the game preview, I was like, I'm not expecting Karis LeVert to go crazy. He's only averaged 7.9 points per game versus the Knicks. Well, he had 24 tonight. Right, 17 points, 13 assists from Donovan Mitchell, 13 points, 13 rebounds from Evan Mobley, 9 points, 10 rebounds from Jared Allen. You know what I mean? And they were playing physical all the way down to the end when Jared Allen, wasn't going to let Julius Randle get a dunk. You know what I'm saying?
And they were packing the paint.
Yeah, because the Knicks ain't hitting shots. The Knicks are going to have to hit some shots to loosen up that paint. Right? And now Julius Randle fell on his tailbone. He went to the locker room. Hopefully he's going to be fine. There's a couple of days of rest. Knicks don't play again until Friday. Well, the Knicks and the Cavs don't play again until Friday. But, man, I mean, you talk about a series starting. This series has started.
Yes.
Started since the first game. You know what I'm saying? Cavs fans gotta, I wouldn't be surprised if we seen a Knicks losers lounge from a Cavs fan, Tony. You know what I'm saying? They deserve to gloat because their team came out and laid it to us tonight. And let me ask you, are you scared about the Knicks' performance tonight and the way that they got smacked? They got punched, kicked, all of that. And out-muscled.
I definitely got to rewatch the game. I want to see how much of those turnovers were self-inflicted and how much of them was based off of defense. Also, I don't see, Quickly seemed like he kind of found his stroke late. You know what I mean? Maybe that's encouraging, but I don't see Quickly. I didn't really see Grimes too much because, I was off and on watching. But I think these guys will step up. I think these X Factor guys, will step up, and we're gonna need that. As far as Randall, I don't know what the numbers were. I know he had a lot of turnovers. I do know that. But I don't know. Like, I can't really assess his game. I got to rewatch it clearly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think we'll bounce back. I think it was lackluster effort, and we won't see that two times in a row. I think the Knicks are gonna test the referees next game. You know what I mean, and kind of bring that physicality up another level as well, and it's gonna be a chippy game. So I hope it's not decided by refereeing. And I hope they, you know what I mean? It ends up being a good game, but I think we'll bounce back.
I have a feeling because, and I'm going to call my man IMD. I'm going to call him IMD. He said that wasn't physical, that was dirty. I don't know if you're talking about the entire game or if you're talking about Jared Allen on Julius Randle, but because of the physicality of this game, I think the referees might call it tight in the next game. I really do. I think they might call it tight because you can already sense that this series is going to get really chippy, really quick. You know what I mean? Really chippy, really quick. You can sense it. You can feel it. Because the Knicks ain't going back down. And they're going to be, and now they're going to hear the noise that Cleveland was more physical. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think is going to happen now? Now the Knicks going to come back like, oh, now we got to be more physical. You know? Joe Brown, he said he fell on his tailbone. He was fouled. Let me find out you're an undercover Cavs lover. I don't know who exactly you're talking to. I did preface that by saying that Jared Allen wasn't going to let Julius Randle get the dunk. You know what I mean? Yes, he did foul him. I'm not saying he wasn't fouled. What I'm saying is that he didn't care. Jared Allen didn't care that he fouled him. He wasn't going to let him get the dunk. That's how they were playing the game. And then Julius Randle fell on his tailbone.
And he didn't care afterwards either because they was over there laughing and smiling and joking.
Yeah.
You know, while I was getting reviewed.
You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't like how he did Isaiah Hartenstein under the basket either. I thought that wasn't right either.
Yeah. I didn't even see that play or what it was, but yeah, man, the Knicks got to make sure that they come out and match it, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. You know, it's going to be a tough one. You know what I mean? I don't see the Knicks getting blown out the way that they did in this game. You know, it was really the second quarter where the Knicks got blown out. You know, every other quarter was, you know, a closer quarter. So I don't see the Knicks getting blown out. It was that second quarter. But, you know, it's going to be a scrappy game that goes down to the wire. And the Knicks are going to have to make adjustments. It's now Tom Thibodeau's turn to make adjustments. Right? Bigger staff made adjustments. More playing time for Caris LeVert. Less playing time for Okoro. And that's a major adjustment. Okoro played 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Caris LeVert played 39 minutes and 51 seconds. And I think now there's another threat out there on the floor.
More offensive threats.
And he can go at Jalen Brunson. Right? So now Tibbs has to figure out if Caris LeVert is going to start, what's the defensive matchups? Because Caris LeVert can go at Brunson. And then Danny Green got playing time. Right? So they brought in a defender in Danny Green and a guy who can shoot the three. Right? He only made 1 3 tonight. 19 minutes and 49 seconds. Still, you know, they still only went basically 7 deep. Because now Isaac Okoro didn't play. You know, 2 minutes and 45 for Okoro, 2:22 for Robert Lopez, 3:13 for Nato. Right? So you're talking about them going 7 deep for the most part.
Sim, can I throw 2 comments up?
Yeah. Go ahead.
This one's for you. But I do think LeVert started the third, so I think that's
right. He said, what do you think about the stretch in the third when Brunson defended LeVert? It didn't look good to me, and I really don't understand why. That's what we were just talking about. And the reason why is because, you know, I'd have to see who all was in the game at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the reason why is because you can't put him on Donovan Mitchell. You're not going to put him on Darius Garland. You know what I'm saying?
And says Tony, why you never watched the game? I'm confused. Step your game up. There's
mean,
this thing called a job, right?
you know what I mean? People got to
that
work.
that I got obligations to pay my bills. So,
Yeah. So,
but
Hey,
come subscribe to Nicks and Bruises, and hit me with some super chats. Maybe
right,
I won't have to work.
exactly.
yeah.
What does CWC mean? I keep seeing people write that in there, and I have no idea what that means. But question for the panel as well.
Mhm.
Are y'all concerned about Jalen?
Am I concerned about Jalen? What do you mean?
When I'm not seeing the Jalen I need to see in this series so far. I mean, all right, game one in the second half. Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Jalen was there. He was doing what he needed to do. He was scoring. He was doing things, but it seemed like we couldn't hit a shot tonight from any perspective whatsoever. And I was just like, there was breakdowns in the play. He kept getting hit in the face. He looked like he had a rough night tonight, a really rough night.
He did.
And he
I mean,
hasn't really got his offensive rhythm going, in my opinion, yet.
yeah. Well, that's
I mean,
and Cleveland. What they're trying to do is apply. They're really trying to apply pressure on Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? And make him have to advance the
work.
ball up with somebody in his face. And if he
Yeah.
lets if they let somebody else have advance the ball up, they still have somebody in his face. What the Knicks like to do, if somebody is in his face, say Randall advances the ball up the court, and then Brunson, pops off and comes and gets the ball. But what they're doing right now is they're like, okay, we're not just gonna let you pop off and get the ball. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make it tough. And then when he's coming in, if he gets inside the paint, they know he wants the mid range. They're crowding it because they're not worried about
Yeah.
the Knicks hitting threes right now. The Knicks are hitting the threes from 24%. 25% in the series. So they're not worried about the Knicks hitting threes. They're going to say, let's see if they can make them. If Jalen Brunson gets in here, we're going to crowd his space. We're not going to let him get an easy shot off. You know what I'm saying?
And then he has no rest on defense.
Right.
Right. And when they pack the paint like that, it takes away all of our other driving threats. RJ can't drive, can't make certain cuts as well. And like I just got the sense that in a lot of ways they had figured out just a small handful of things to have a major impact on a lot of the things that we do. And that kind of, I mean, I wasn't expecting us to be able to overcome that immediately, because so much of what we do relies on that dribble penetration. But if we can't get a shot going from the outside, then we're gonna have to be creative to figure this one out. And I don't suspect that Thibodeau had that in mind either, because it was literally winding down in the second quarter, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we have a lot of timeouts left, and he hasn't used them, and it was like a 15-point game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's on Tom Thibodeau to start to make some adjustments, to look at, what the Cavs did in this game and figure out how you adjust. And one of the bigger adjustments is going to be LeVert. Now, I seen someone in the chat say LeVert won't do that again. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But it's putting some pressure on Jalen Brunson, because now Jalen Brunson's got a guard. He didn't have to guard Isaac Okoro. He's got to guard LeVert. Whether or not you think he's going to do it again, he's got to guard him, or he will do it again.
Yeah.
Which is now tough. So now you got to figure out, what do you do?
He has a lot to do, because in addition to guarding LeVert, he's going to have to start to try to play make on a level that keeps him on pace with what Donovan Mitchell's doing out there, because Donovan Mitchell was doing a lot of playmaking out there,
right?
In addition to his scoring, and we're gonna need to see some of that from somebody.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cornerstone, what's popping with you, man? How you feeling? You're muted, my brother. You're muted. We can't hear you. There it is. There he
Well,
is.
well, I was feeling good uh on our last broadcast. Now I'm feeling mighty low because everything that you said came to fruition for the Cavaliers. Um First off, what's up, Tony? What's up, Savvy? Say hi to y'all. Um I'm gonna say this. Um if we're not going to get if we are not going to get any production out of RJ and Quickly and Grimes, we're not going to win this series. And that's real. Brunson can be as great as he is. Julius can be as great as he is, but if we're not going to get any type of production from those three that I just named, we're not going to win this series. If you would have told me going in for the first two games that quit Emmanuel, who is contention for being the sixth man of the year, if you would have told me that he was only going to score, I don't know how many points he's scored so far, but if you would have told me that that was going to be his point outcome for the first two games, I'd have said you're nuts. And it's happening, man. Um, I don't know what the deal with him is.
I don't know. I agree with you. The Knicks need IQ to step up and play. Now, hopefully his play down I don't even want to say down the stretch of the game, but his play towards the end of the game, he made a couple of shots. Maybe that boils over into the next game. You know, um, I I hope so because the Knicks they
It's
definitely
it's
need
got to.
they need one
It's
of these
got to.
guys to step up.
It's got to. And I'm
He
not even.
shook.
You think so, Savvy?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think he shook. Um, Yesterday more so than today. I think today he was not as shook. I think what happened was, he hasn't been in the playoffs in 2 years since that series against the Hawks, and any little thing we got from him was considered a fantastic achievement because it was a postseason and he was a rookie, or maybe,
No, he was a rookie. He was a
but
rookie. Yeah.
rookie, right? So now he came out game one, he was shook. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. He's had a good year, but he hasn't really seen teams dial up to that next level in terms of being in the postseason. And even though they kind of underperformed that first game, the environment was still as such that we are in the postseason now. This is a different game now, right? So he came into this game, I would assume, with stronger nerves, but the level of physicality that he had to contend with tonight was greater than one that I've seen him successfully overcome, at least in my own observations, right? I think stretch when he was able to, figure himself out and adjust and like find his pockets, he was able to make some baskets and score a little bit. Granted, it was a lost game to us at that point in time, but I think what we're really gonna need to watch out for is how he does when we get back to Madison Square Garden and he's back in somewhat of a comfort zone. And if he still can't get it going at that point in time, then we're really in trouble.
Here's my problem. Um, we've always been, for at least for this year, a great road team, and we've been somewhat subpar at home. I'm hoping that we see the team that we saw game one come out, you know, at home. And like you said, Quickly's got to give us something. Out of the three guys that again that I named, he was the one that you felt reliable on. I mean, RJ is RJ. I've given up on on that pretty much. Um, And Grimes is the second dude. Grimes is that second dude. He's not hitting those threes that you seen him, take,
Yeah, I
throughout,
mean,
throughout the season.
listen, one thing that the Cavs did really well tonight was close out hard.
They literally closed out. Yes.
Close
Yeah.
out hard. And so now Grimes took 2 shots tonight. And both of those shots, he had to let them up under pressure. They would, they did a really good job. The number 1 defensive team in the league. And they did a really good job of clogging the paint, not letting guys like Brunson get up clean, easy shots, and then closing out to the shooters. You know what I mean? So Grimes can't have just 2 shots. He's got to get more than that.
And I see people in the chat trashing quickly and everything. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I've seen too much of this kid, to be trashing him just for these 2 games. But I will say he's got to get his act together.
Yeah, he's got to.
I will say that.
No doubt.
And everything.
Shout out to Jack City,
I'm not gonna
man.
trash him.
Yeah, shout out to Jack City. He said, I went to Legends, but I didn't see y'all. I was so disappointed. I left at the end of the 3rd quarter. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. And he was saying disappointed game-wise. But, hey, we'll be back at Legends on Friday, Jack City. So, come join us at Legends on Friday. The game starts at 8:30. We'll start podcasting about 7. You know what I mean? So make sure you join us on Friday. All right? And I do want to say, too, Dutch Amps Rook, he said, need to shut the Knicks down. Time for a rebuild. Then he said he's kidding. Cavs fan in the house. The Knicks will be all right. We'll compete, but won't win this series. Well, where was you at after game 1? Yeah, it's easy for you to talk now. You know what I'm saying? And you can feel good about it right now. I dig it. But where was you at after game 1? You were probably listening, but you probably didn't have the heart to say anything.
Same place the Cavs players were trying to get in the ear of all the officials, man.
Yeah. Listen, they're going to get
it. You know what I'm saying? Begging the officials for help.
Yeah. Listen, I guess
you saw what he did to me, right? You saw how he pushed me, right?
Yeah, I guess they got the right to talk right now. You know what I'm saying? They got the right to talk right now. Because after game 1, what was we all saying? Knicks in 5, Knicks in 4, Knicks in 3. Right? You know what I'm saying? We was bugging out with it.
Another thing that made me a little disturbed tonight was the defense RJ was putting on Garland. He did not guard Garland at all. And I kind of put this onus on Tibbs too, that you have to adjust on that. If it's obvious that if he's not doing it, you got to put somebody else on Garland because he was hot.
I mean, listen. I mean, who? That's what I'm saying. Who? Well, I mean, what are you doing?
What I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say.
I know you're going to say. Listen, he was hot tonight. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. They have 2 guys that
Sam,
know.
What I'm talking about too.
they have 2 guys that are can go off at any time. You know what I mean? And we all figured that the Knicks had a deeper bench. And I still feel like the Knicks have a deeper bench. But right now, they're not showing it. You know what I'm saying? Our so-called deeper bench is not playing deep enough. You know what I'm saying? We're Quickly's not playing well at all. You know what I mean? Obi is giving you whatever he's going to give you. Hartenstein actually did play kind of well, tonight. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, when I looked in the first half, in my mind, I was like, well, at least Hartenstein is giving us something. But the Knicks they got to get more. I mean, he still only ended up with 4.7 rebounds, so I guess it wasn't, that well.
And you know what gives us a lot of problems? We seem to lose our awareness a lot when it comes to the backdoor cut down the baseline. You know what I mean? anytime somebody got down to that baseline, it really discombobulated everything that we had planned on that possession.
Mm-hmm.
Every single defensive possession that we was able to make the initial stop, somebody got back door. It happened to RJ. It happened to Emmanuel, and I was just like, when you stop the initial drive and you see them swinging the ball in that direction, you gotta know that they're going for that baseline. But it seemed like we couldn't really recalibrate and be aware of that. And then by that same token, whenever our initial drives would break down, you might recall I said this like several months ago on this show. Like, we have a really good plan A. But if our plan A doesn't really work out, we struggle to recover our offensive effort unless it comes off of an offensive rebound that gets kicked out.
Right.
And I think that those two things, that sort of under the basket aspect of our team's game, I think that's the part that really needs to be brought to level in addition to what we do from our 3-point line. But that was one of the observations I made, because I was like, man, like we have a lot of trouble doing anything like that if it's not involving Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein.
Anybody have a problem with the way Mitch played tonight?
I
They
mean,
were suffocating that man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really even much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to
It
space the
seemed like,
floor.
yeah,
I
it
don't know
seemed like
what's up with his hands the last two games. I'll
thank
tell
you.
you that
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
True that. He was dropping stuff.
yeah. I
But I
mean,
mean,
I think also with Mitch, right? Jared Allen did an interview when they asked him about the Knicks rebounding, and he mentioned Mitch. He was like, Mitch is, probably the best offensive rebounder in the league. And it helps make the teams, the Knicks, a really, really good rebounding team. These are all things when you hear it. The Knicks are pretty quiet in their press conferences, right? They don't let out a lot of information. The Cavs, you can hear them letting out information. So you knew they were going to come out physical. You knew they were worried about rebounding. You knew Jared Allen had discussions with his coaching staff about Mitchell Robinson and how well he can rebound the ball. You know what I mean? So they were putting bodies on people. They were hitting people. They were bumping. They were banging. They didn't care if they fouled you. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care. It was like, we're going to foul. We're going to make it aggressive.
You know
We're going to
what?
foul on every single possession and make the refs have to call something. And if they don't, then they don't. But they fouled on every single possession. That's the style of basketball they was playing.
Sam, what do you tell your players when the calls aren't going their way and they start to lose their cool?
I tell them you got to play through it. That's what I tell them. Me as a coach, I never put it on the referees. You know what I'm saying? As frustrated as I might get, I don't want to give my players an excuse, right? I want them to be mentally tough enough to try to play through, the tough games like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you give them an excuse, then that looks over the mistakes. Oh, well,
Right.
it was the refs. It was the refs. It was the refs. So now you look over the mistakes that you made. You know what I mean? So I try never to blame it on the referees. I don't even argue with refs like that. I don't argue over calls. I talk with refs to try to get calls my way. I don't argue over calls because they're not going to change the call. I may throw my hands in the air, like, what are you talking about? Or something like that real quick, saying it to myself. But for the most part, I don't argue and try to get them to change a call unless it's something that can be changed, some kind of something going on where, we're having a discussion about it. But for the most part, I don't argue calls. I talk with the rest and try to get them to make calls.
And do you think the coaching staff is telling these guys that, hey, you're in a hostile
Yeah,
place?
yeah.
Just play through it. If the call doesn't go your way, you've got to play through it. I mean, if you if you feel like you've gotten fouled and they don't call it, I got to see more of just playing, through it and just, I mean, they'll throw up their hands expecting the refs to call it, and they've already scored like the
No,
2 points because you
I,
didn't get back on
I
defense.
agree. You got to play through it. You got to realize it's the playoffs, and it's going to be more physical than the regular season. It just is, and you got to play through it. You know what I mean? And it's. I will say this because I've been a player before too. It's a little more difficult. It's much easier said than done when you're out there on the court and everybody's getting banged around and you feel like you got fouled. It's much easier said than done to just, take it and live with it. You know what I mean? It is. It's no doubt about it. But you got to do it. You got to be mentally tough enough to do it. And we got a Cavs fan in here, trolling us out. He said, Cavs playing dirty. Laugh out loud. That's right. Knicks laid an egg. Own it. Oh, I own it. I think we all own it. You know what I'm saying? We definitely all own it. I'm not saying that when I say the Cavs were fouling on every possession, they were fouling on every possession. I'm not saying it's dirty. I tell my players, play aggressive and foul on every possession because the ref can only call one foul. So if all 5 players are fouling, they can only call one. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I teach my players to play the game. Play aggressive in that way. That's what the Cavs did tonight.
I was going to say that. If they foul you on one end and they don't call it, go back down the other end and beat them down. Dare them to call it.
Yeah.
All right? Because even if they do call it, at least you're wearing that boy out. It's like a jab in the midsection. You feel me? You keep jabbing that midsection a little bit. Eventually, down the squeeze, a little weak in the core.
Yeah.
But that's okay. If you want to come and troll in the chat, that's all right. Same energy after we come back to Madison Square and we beat you all again. Because the truth be told, you gave up your home court advantage. It's a tied series after your 2 home games. Yep. And we didn't even play good at either of these games.
We surely didn't. We didn't play well either one of these games. And to be honest with you, we said that even after the first game, we all said, we didn't even play well. That's what blew our heads up a little bit. Like, we didn't even play well and we beat them. What's going to happen if we play well? Well, we didn't come out and play well, and they did. They shot the ball well. You know what I mean? They played much better defense. They played more aggressive. And we played the same way that we played in game 1. You know what I mean? Same way.
True.
You know what I mean? This dude better come back on Friday. Word. This dude better come back and a chat. You all see his name at this man in the chat. Come at him. He said, and the Cavs played like. He said, and the Cavs played terrible in game 1. They did. Now you're talking the calls the refs made. We didn't say anything about it. We didn't
say anything about. In fact, I was saying that we should play through the,
Yeah,
these
nobody
calls.
said anything about the calls the refs made.
I'm not complaining about the calls at all because it is what it is. It is what it is with these calls. I just want my team to just play through it.
Yeah. We're not talking about the calls the refs made. We're not blaming this on the refs, but he better come back on Friday.
Let the Knicks look like 80% of themselves the next game. Let us look like 80% of ourselves next game.
I mean, in order to do that.
And see how much of a harder time they're going to have defending us.
Yeah, in order to do that, though, we got to take care of the ball. And I do believe that, part of us turning over the ball was just the way that the Cavs were. Like, they were in our face defensively. You know what I'm saying? And it forced us to throw bad passes. I mean, we were throwing some wild passes tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes it looked like, well, that was an unforced turnover, but, the speed and aggression at which they were playing defense forces you to sometimes throw bad passes. We got to take care of the ball. If we don't take care of the ball, we're going to be in trouble. We got to take care of the ball.
But we also need more movement, too. That's another thing. I saw Randall, Brunson, RJ, all these guys, trying to go, one-on-one a little bit, and you got to move the ball. That's why I like people like Grimes. Grimes is going to move the ball for you. You know, I think there was
Especially off the ball as well, Kevin. Off the ball as well. Like that inbound play when Julius tried to inbound it and
Yes.
it went straight out. And
Yeah.
because there was somebody on Jalen and everybody else was behind the perimeter that they had set up defensively to guard that, I'm like, somebody got to get in there and give him another option to throw the ball. He only got 5 seconds.
Exactly.
You know, and then there was another play. There was Emmanuel quickly had turned the ball over in the second half. He went and tried to make a drive, couldn't find anybody. He was in the corner, and then he swung it out to where he thought somebody was at, and it got intercepted. There was another play before that in the first half where Julius Randle basically did the same thing, but IQ had already gone into the corner and wasn't no longer at the elbow, and it went straight out of bounds. And I was like, okay, we're getting chased off the ball so quickly that now, in order to compensate for getting chased off the ball, they're throwing not no looks, but almost no look passes. By the time you even see where you're throwing it to, it's too late, and it's already gone.
Yeah,
because we got paced up by the way that they were playing defense. Like if our pace was already up tempo and we were really moving like that, it would have been okay. But because their pressure made us increase our pace, we were not prepared to do that and adjust in order to be there to get these passes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another thing we didn't do is we didn't move through the screens either. Like when Jarrett Allen was throwing those, those screens, we weren't moving through it as well. That was.
I mean, they were standing the ground a little bit better.
And they set good screens too.
Yeah.
Literally,
we didn't do nothing right tonight.
Listen, this is the last piece of rhythm I'm gonna give this Cavs fan, right? Mr. Dutch. Mr. Dutch. Why are you not in a Cavs podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you in a Knicks
I know
podcast?
why.
Go. Yeah.
This is his losers lounge, He
I guess so.
He peeped the losers lounge and now he's like,
right. You know what I mean? Go find a Cavs podcast to participate in. I mean, we know they're not as dope, but go find one to participate in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with all 3 of the viewers. You and the 3 other viewers.
Right. Oh,
big shout out. I appreciate it.
Big shout out to Nikki B. He said, we need MSG to be truly hostile on Friday. Yes. We need that noise to penetrate through their souls. You know what I mean? It's got to. Like, it's got to be a hostile environment. The thing is, the Knicks have played better on the road than they've played at home.
Exactly.
This hostile environment, it can't shake us too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can't shake us too. We got to be able to revel in our crowd, and the crowd has to stay behind. And I think they will. It's the playoffs. They're gonna stay behind them, but we got to revel in it too. And use it to our advantage. But the Knicks got to get game 2. They got it. They got to go up 2-1, man.
You mean game 3?
I mean game 3. Yeah, game 3. They got to get game 3.
Do you know what I want to see? Do you know what I really want to see? And I've said this about Obi Toppin in the past, but now I'm saying it about RJ. Get mad at somebody, okay? Get into a fight, man. All right? Like show me some anger, some passion, something. All right? I don't care if you're having another bad offensive night. I do care, but don't go out there and have a bad offensive night, have a bad defensive night, and not hit anybody in the face. like punch somebody in the face one time and show us that you care. That might galvanize a little something in the rest of the roster. Okay? Because we don't have Marcus Morris no more.
Nah.
Okay? If we had Mook out there, the level of effort would not be a problem. I guarantee it would not be a problem. We need a guy like that that's going to inspire that effort somehow. And it can't be Julius because he's too important to the team.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of times we beat ourselves tonight?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of times we did, but I'm not gonna lie. The Cavs defense had a lot to do
A
with the
lot
way
to do
we
with it.
played tonight. Their
Certainly.
defense, their physicality had a lot to do with the way we played tonight. It just is. Just like
It
just like
seems
in
like we
game one, our
yeah,
physicality had a lot to do with the way that they played. Same
yeah.
way. Same thing.
It seemed like we awakened players too on that team as well, a Levert, like a um uh, am I pronouncing the name Osman?
Yeah, Osman.
Seti.
Osman,
Seti
yeah.
Osman.
Yeah. We awoke, you know, players like that because when we had, what I thought would be, a a building big lead, because I think what was the most that we had them up by like 8, I
We were
think.
up 8 at some point in
Yeah,
time
up
in the
8.
first half.
I thought that was going to be somewhat of a building knockout, towards them. And they came back and got the lead, and then we got it back for a little bit, and it was like seesawing back and forth until finally in that second quarter, it was like
Well, I
that.
think, with the Knicks going up 8, I think they were probably like, yo, we're supposed to be throwing a punch out here, and we're getting
Right,
punched. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And, sometimes that, too, like for the Knicks, they come out,
like days ago.
they go up 8, and all of a sudden it sets in like, yeah, these dudes can't beat us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
and and
yeah.
and, and the Cavs go to the bench like, yo, come on, what are we doing?
Right.
And bam, you know what I mean? So I'm expecting a much different Knicks team to come out on Friday. They're
But
pissed
what's
off
going
about this. You know it. They're pissed off about this.
right?
I'm pretty sure in their head, in their mind, they're like, we're better than this team. You know what I mean? If we come out and we play the way that we know how to play, we play with that edge, we play with aggression, we'll have a chance to win the game. We didn't have a chance to win the game tonight. You know what I'm saying? If we play with aggression, with edge, we'll have a chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a different team come out. No doubt about it. Different team is coming out on Friday.
What do you think the talk will be around the league and in the media, starting tomorrow and well, even now and the next couple days? What do you think the narrative's going to be for
For
us?
for the Knicks,
Yeah.
matching the physicality, that's going to be one, right? Coming back and matching the physicality, but shooting. That's got to be a bigger, in my opinion, that's going to be a bigger storyline. Shooting.
Yeah, you gotta hit shots.
Got to hit shots. The Knicks
Yes.
25% from the 3-point line, 30 whatever percent from 36%, whatever it was from the field.
But we know
Turnovers.
that Brunson and Randall are going to, give you points. What we didn't expect was quickly not giving us points. That I'm telling you right now, I think that's a bigger issue right now is the quickly
True,
well, I
but
think what's going to be is the quickly narrative.
but
Because
also the
again,
3-point shooting. When you can't, if you look down the stretch of the season for the Knicks, they were hot from the 3-point line. Quentin Grimes was
yeah,
lighting it up.
yeah,
IQ was
Yeah.
lighting it up too. You know what I
right.
mean? Getting to the playoffs, and we can't
And
knock
we
down
can't
a
hit
3.
nothing.
You can't buy a basket.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We can't hit a
And it's
3.
and
Those
it's not like these guys are like, um these defensive championship teams. I mean, they're just the Cavs, right now. Now, if this was Milwaukee doing this, maybe,
yeah, but they
but
have a championship level defense.
the
If I was
Cavs,
The Cavs, they got the best defense in the league, or at least
which is a little
top
more,
3. At least top 3. Why do you think the
if I
scoring? I mean, the Knicks won the game and they scored 101 or whatever it
yeah.
was. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be battling through scoring versus this team. It's bottom line, you're gonna
Yeah,
be battling through that.
but I've seen this team. The last game that we played against them, out, before the playoffs.
Regular season.
Yeah, they had their way with them.
I agree. But
They had their way
neither
with them.
team. But you got to understand, neither team was playing for anything at that point. The 4th and 5th seeds were locked up. Neither team was playing. That game really didn't mean anything as far as this playoff series is concerned.
Okay.
When I did my scouting, I went back and I looked at the game that the Knicks won when it was 90-something to 80-something. I looked back at that game, right? Because I figured that game was going to be pretty close to what we see in this game, in this series. Low scoring, defensive type battle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, not great shooting. That's what I envisioned this series to be like. That last game we played, I don't think we get a game like that.
Okay. All right.
I don't think we get a game like that.
Okay.
So, you should expect a tough series. If the Knicks can find a way, if the Knicks find their way out of this series, it's gonna feel like, a breath of fresh air with who they play next, because the defense ain't gonna be as tough. And the Knicks can win this series still. I don't care what Dutchy here boy says. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks,
Well, here's the thing. Sim. We did what we were supposed to do. We got the split. But me personally, I was greedy. I wanted both games. But we got the split. So now we have to protect our home court and go from there. We got to protect our home court. Because in the past, teams that last time we were in the playoffs, with this team, and then years ago with that Indiana team, all they needed was our split, and then they protected their home court. So that's what we have to do. We have to protect our home court.
Yeah, I agree. We got to come home, protect home court. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks haven't been the best team at home.
Which is mind-boggling. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it is. During the end of the season, they played much better, though. We got to say that. They played much better the second half of the season at home. But it's not going to be easy. Donovan Mitchell's going to try to show off in the Garden. All of these guys are going to want to have a career game at the Garden in the playoffs.
He didn't hurt us tonight. He didn't hurt us.
Oh, he hurt us.
Well,
he might not have scored.
Garland did.
He might not have scored all the buckets, but the man had 13 assists.
Yeah.
17 points and 13 assists. Still hurt.
And they was hitting threes off those assists too. Like he was playmaking like crazy, man. He really is Spider-Man. I gotta give it to him. He was slinging that ball all over the court. And then you could tell that it was gonna go one of two ways for him. On two separate occasions, he was about to dunk all over Hartenstein and then kicked it out. The second time he did it, he kicked it out to Seti. And it was just like, man, like you just knew that he could do that whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
So I could pass this one up and swing it out to somebody, and they'll hit it. Don't worry, I'll have more chances to dunk on your boy. That's okay. I felt like I was being spoken to in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, they reversed all the storylines that came out of the first game. They reversed them, right?
Literally.
Only Donovan Mitchell can score the ball. Well, he only scored 17 tonight, 13 assists. Darius Garland was the leading scorer. They can't be physical. Well, they played very physical tonight. The Knicks dominate on the glass. Well, they dominated the glass tonight. The Knicks got a deeper bench. Well, Karis LeVert came in and did his thing tonight.
Did his thing, yep.
They reversed it all. Callie, you live, man. Tell me your name and where you're from.
Hey, how you doing? This is Isaiah.
What'd you say?
This is Isaiah, a.k.a. Big Bubba.
What's going on, man? What's up?
Oh, no!
The
guy who didn't
you haven't
want
been here
Donovan
for
Mitchell.
Yeah, what's going on, Big Bubba, man?
I still don't. I still don't, but it's, not for what they wanted. First of all, shout out to you, Sim. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to, these two guys that come, after all the good things happen.
Oh,
It's all good.
No,
Especially Cornerstone. Cornerstone Cornerstone had been around 6 months, but it's all good though. It's all right. We know Cornerstone. Don't worry. You.
Go ahead, man.
job,
So
man.
your thoughts, man. Your thoughts.
Yeah. Honestly, the defense was pretty terrible tonight. I thought, the officiating was going to be, just between the Cavs were just crying for the last 3 games. They got what they wanted. They got to play physical as much as they wanted. There was a lot of blood on the Knicks side. It just, the defense was just horrible. I felt, there was no trust between the teammates on the Knicks. There was like a lot of just stupid turnovers that were it was the pointless turnovers that really caused, I think, a lot of the confusion early on. Like, I mean, you're talking about guys not being in position to catch the rock, and then them just getting easy buckets. The defense was bad. And then, like I said, the passing was just stupid. It was just a bad game overall. But you know what? It's a long series, and that's the part of the series.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a long series, and
And to be fair, Sim, I think I'm not gonna say the Knicks needed that, but also I think, I thought they played a little lack of. I thought they knew they were playing with house money, so I thought they, played a little. I thought they played soft tonight.
yeah, I agree. I'm looking at them in, the third quarter, and I'm trying to say to myself, well, maybe they just don't feel as if, maybe they still feel like they're going to come back. They're trying to stay calm, but I didn't see a sense of desperation on their face. Like, oh man, we down 15, 16, 17 points. We really got to lock in. I didn't see that sense of desperation from the Knicks. And maybe they were just a little bit relaxed. Like, hey, we did what we came here to do and get a split. But that's a learning. That's something you got to learn when you're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you got to take
be
care of
aggressive all
business.
the time.
You got to take care of business.
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the part that bothered me the most, was that I felt like they were just like days ago once they got the game, which was one of the most important things, is to win the first game. But I thought they could have definitely won tonight. It just really like a days ago. I'm gonna be honest with you, Sim, too. I'm truly worried about our RJ and Quickly.
Yeah.
It's becoming more of a I don't know, and it's coming bad. And I think we learned, especially with Randall Man, that the playoffs tell you who you are. The regular season is great. We love Quickly in the regular season, but man, I don't want to be too cautious, man. But there's a few Knicks players that are not showing up playoff time, and this is the second couple of these guys' second playoffs. So they got to figure this out. I mean, they're gonna get a couple of days off. I mean, they got their ass kicked tonight, so they needed that. So hopefully they wake up, because this could easily. I'm gonna just say, I hope I want you to have a good time on the game 4.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So
listen, I'm gonna have a good time regardless.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have a good time regardless.
Hey, Big Bubba,
Listen, we not gonna talk. You better listen. So,
hey, Big Bubba, it's like
I was
what you
gonna tell
said.
you. Listen, how much you? Yep.
Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was, you make your name in the regular season, but you make your fame in the playoffs and everything. So I agree totally. What you're saying, man.
Shut up, Kev. I don't want to hear that from you. I don't want to hear that from you, Kev. You ain't been on here. You ain't been on here.
Wow.
You ain't been on here in a year.
Wow, who's to say that you haven't been on here?
I'm playing.
Hey,
but
Zay,
I'm playing, man.
But Zay, I agree with what you said, bro. Like I think people forgot, especially the people on our roster, right, that we have had an overachieving season. Like, we didn't think we was gonna just sign Jalen and then come get that 5 seed off rip. Okay, so we need to approach every single game like we need this game. I don't care how many wins we got, even if we got up to 3-1 on them. We need to approach that game 5 like we really need this game, because we are playing a team that, by all intents and purposes, is better. They got more guys who are consistently good. than we have. We have two
I
guys who
mean,
can go supernova, and
I
then we
mean,
have a supporting cast that is deep enough that any given night one or two of them could go off as well. But they have probably 3 or 4 guys who, on a consistent basis, their floor is higher than the floor of some of the guys on our roster, like RJ Barrett, right? And for that reason, we can't take anything for granted.
yeah, I mean,
I agree with you with certain points about that argument. I still think we're a better team, to be honest with you.
I do too.
I still think we're a better
I
team.
still feel like we're a
I
better
really
team.
do. Here's the thing, though, man. It's like, I know Knicks fans. We listen. If you saw the video that Sam posted on the first game, the Knicks fans are full of emotion. You should have seen the bar when it wasn't when we were down. The bar was quiet. the bar was quiet. Look, this is a series, man. This wasn't going to be easy.
And
I think people.
The thing is, I told Steph the other night. I don't know if it was after the first game or what, and it may have been on the Queen's Court. I don't remember, but I was saying, listen, the Knicks beat this team after last night. They beat them 4 times. After the first game, they beat them 4 times in a row. The Cavs were going to get a game. And I'm not saying they're only going to get one game, but they were going to beat the Knicks at some point, in my opinion, because they're a good basketball team and they got some pride too. So now the thing is, they figured out a formula that works for them against the Knicks. And can they continue to implement that formula? And can Tom Thibodeau adjust to that formula? And figure out another way to beat the Cavs. So,
yeah, because to me, the formula for us to beat the Cavs is let Donovan Mitchell do his thing. Like, we seen game 1 that they scored when he scored the most points and you stopped everybody else, we win. That's kind of been the blueprint for Donovan Mitchell for a while now. But what's going to be the issue is when you have guys like Garland, when you have guys like LeVert. You can't have that. You can't have those guys having an efficient night. That's where you lose the series. Is when you got guys like LeVert and Garland going off. We got to live with Donovan Mitchell going off. But when Donovan Mitchell has 9 assists and he's pretty much being a point guard, that's when we're having a problem. That's when we're losing the game because they're moving the ball, they're moving the guys, and we're not adjusting to that. That's where I think where we would lose at. If there's more balance, a more balanced attack from the Cavs versus this just being solely on one player.
Right, but I mean, they have some control over that because they can make the conscious decision that we're not just going to let him go off. We're gonna keep trying to keep the ball moving and get everybody else involved.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you, and to be real with you, and this is the God honest truth, we're not going to win this series if RJ or Quickly keep doing this.
Thank you.
That's point blank where it's like, you guys, it's becoming a concern because RJ, I was expecting this to kind of happen. Like, I was like, okay, maybe he's not going to be ready, but Quickly, we need that 15 points, we need that 16, we need that 20 points, honestly, because like you said, I think you said it before. You can't expect Josh Hart to go get you 17 points every game. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to be Quickly in these guys. And I mean, RJ got to step up because right now, I mean, you could just see it on the court. He has no confidence. Like,
sure doesn't.
That's bad. Like, so you know what, man? I mean, I still believe. I mean, look, I believe him. He's still on the Knicks, and we need him to be confident for us to win. So,
but what's his deal?
They got a couple. Like I said, they got.
What's his deal?
It's playoffs, man. It's a different beast. You got to figure out how to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's not like it's his first playoffs.
Yeah.
He's been in the playoffs before.
One time. One time as a rookie.
Yeah, but as a no. I'm talking about RJ. Now he wasn't a rookie when he
Okay,
when he went to the
one
playoffs.
time.
Sophomore.
One
It was
time
his
as a
second
sophomore.
year,
That was his second
and
year.
he had one decent game against the Hawks in that series. He had one decent game,
And that was
and
the elimination
Well,
game.
ever since that series, he's been trying to find himself. He's not playing the same style of ball now that he was playing back then. And tell me something: is it confidence or is it energy?
Well, for me, I think it's just a combination of confidence and maybe RJ's not that good. Sometimes playoff wise.
We'll see, man. You know.
I feel like the playoff format should favor what he does best.
Yes.
But I'm not seeing that explosiveness.
What's he
and
do
I'm not
best? What's he do best?
Huh?
What's he do best that you're saying that it should? What's he do
the
best?
slower paced half court game that you tend to get in the postseason should favor his skill set.
But
Especially when he seeks to attack the basket the way he typically does to get
I see what
himself
you're saying,
going.
but I don't see, like, in the playoffs, men come out and play. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And
that's also true.
And like I seen RJ try to post up Darius Garland, and it didn't even look like he was strong enough to command this spot. And that's something Cornerstone was saying. Well, can he just bully Darius Garland? No, he didn't.
No, he can't. No, he can't.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, maybe he's just, he's got to. I don't know. I mean, Darius Garland is the same age, but you
need to find the mismatch for him. But I'm not seeing the explosiveness that I will see from him sometimes during the regular season. That shows me that he's energized to the occasion. You feel me? Like
right, and he was
like he looked like he looked sleepy out there.
Right, he let Garland do whatever he wanted. Garland just used the pick and just did whatever he wanted.
Darius Garland was hot tonight, no doubt about it. He was cooking tonight.
Right. He was.
Yeah, but
same draft too.
RJ struggled in posting up Darius Garland. I was looking, I was like, come on, man. Are we serious right now?
Funny,
what's going on, man? For real. But Big Bubba, man, any last words before I let you rock? I know you probably over there sleeping already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stupid, man.
Go drink some warm milk.
Cornerstone, please, man. Cornerstone, we'll see you next year on next year's draft when we actually get our pick from Dallas. No, Sim, sucky night, Sim, but great show as always. It's good to have Kev and Savvy and Tony on the show and everything like that. Look, man, this is a long series, Sim, and you said it best. They were gonna lose. The Knicks were gonna lose to the Cavs eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's up to the Knicks to adjust and get ready for Game 3. And look, man, listen. I still believe, and I know you believe too, that we're better than the Cavs. We have an overall better team. I think the Knicks will come back swinging. This is going to be the most physical series of all the rounds.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to get more physical than these two. So, listen, there's going to be some ugly basketball, but I think the Knicks will still win. And I know we're going to talk about it, whenever you do the game preview Friday. So, I see y'all then. Have a good one, man.
All right, appreciate it.
I guess you didn't see Draymond stomp on Domantas Sabonis' chest, then.
I mean, we seen that, but just overall physicality.
I feel you. I'm playing.
No,
it's true though. This was the series to watch,
right?
And the reason is because of the matchup and the narratives that led up to it. But we are the underdogs. That's not lost on me. Like, people were not expecting us going into Game 1 to be the ones that were going to take this series, especially in the voting that was done by the talking heads, albeit who cares talking heads really, what I think the case is that we have a higher ceiling and a lower floor, and we just kind of, fluctuate to a greater degree in who we are and how we perform on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
we need to tighten that up.
That's true. Knicks are nice said, I don't know, fellas, we got exposed today. Tony,
think we
you,
got
you think we got exposed?
Nah, because even though we're not a good shooting team all year, we've had good shooting games, right?
Right.
And for the most part, it hasn't been a struggle for like everybody. You know what I mean? So I think if we get two guys hot, we can win. Like, like it's really that's that simple.
Hmm.
I think if our defense is not the problem. You know what I mean? Like we just need multiple contributors. I really believe that, and we
Yeah.
have guys capable of that. So like I don't think we got exposed. Um, and it's even. So I think they wanted it more, like you said earlier. And next game will kind of be a more of a determining factor.
Yeah.
Let's see if Tibbs adjusts or if he says we just got to shoot better.
Yeah.
Because what they score 107.
107.
That's a good defensive game to me.
Yeah. I want to know from Knicks are nice when he says we got exposed. How did we get exposed? What was it that they exposed? Because if you say shooting, we didn't shoot well in the first game and we won. You know what I mean? The only, they outworked us tonight, I believe, right? That's what Kevin said. Nope, we got outplayed, plain and simple. I think we got outworked tonight. We didn't shoot the ball well, but we didn't shoot the ball well in the first game. We turned the ball over more times tonight. I want to, what else? What makes you believe that we got exposed? That's what I want to know. So I'll wait for him to put that down. But Savvy, did the Knicks get exposed tonight?
No, we didn't get exposed. We just once again did not come to play our best game. We have yet to show our best selves in this series, and I have faith that in this series, before it's all said and done, these role players that we're looking for to show up will find their rhythm and show us who they are in this series. I don't think we're gonna get out of this without seeing us play our best. I think so far what's happened is that we underperformed in the first game. We had the jitters. Our stars were able to hold us down. They weren't able to do that this time, but we also were not ready for them to adjust to the physicality. I think now that we have that sample size, we'll be able to come back on Friday after some film sessions, after some coaching, some adjustments and discussions about what the roles are on this team in certain situations, and then we'll come back and we'll showcase what got us here. Because there was definitely times where players broke down and you could tell that people were not ready for what the next part of the procedure was. Who needs to rotate and guard that guy that just got left because you had to go help? Stuff like that. So I think once we get on the same page, the Knicks that we've seen all year is gonna come out to emerge, and it'll be a good series.
Yeah. Knicks are nice said they trapped JB and other guys couldn't and wouldn't step up. I don't want to say couldn't step up. I think we just, we missed shots. But this is what comes when, I don't think you can say if this team is exposed until after the next game. I'm gonna say that because you got to see how the Knicks adjust. Right. You got to see how they adjust. Then you can determine whether or not the Knicks are exposed, in my opinion. Right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like even if Tibbs doesn't adjust, you got to see the outcome of that too. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if Tibbs sticks to his guns and says, you know what I mean, like such as we got to fix this, and that, have some focus points, and then more energy, more effort, you know what I mean, he may feel that way. What, you know what I mean? But again, until the outcome of the next game, you can't really judge it. You know what I mean? Because by then it could be his lack of adjustment or his adjustment didn't work. You know what I mean? But you can't make that determination, especially in a 1-1 series going back home.
Yeah, you know, and I guess we'll see. Listen, they could adjust and figure out, okay, this is how we're gonna beat Jalen Brunson getting trapped or double teamed. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna beat it. You know what I mean? And it's hard to make that adjustment during the game. You really got to look at it and figure out, okay, are they leaving something open on the weak side when they trap? All of those type of things. So we've got to see where the next adjustment is. The Cavs made some nice adjustments to this game. Now we got to see how the Knicks adjust back. You know what I mean?
Right.
To try to even out this series. Let me get you another phone call. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
I'm from New Haven, Elm City, Connecticut.
What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm checking this, and they talking about the Knicks, and I tried hard to be a Knicks fan, bro. But it starts with management, first of all. You know, like all the nice guards that came out of New York, they never snatched them up. But anyway, back to that. Randall is not what everybody is making him up to be. He could get 30, but he take 30 shots. He like the black hole, man. When he start pounding that ball, everybody stands around. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to work, bro. He's too selfish. It's like he playing for numbers as opposed to the win.
You think so? I mean, I know there are nights. I know there are nights when he takes, a high number of shots sometimes, but for the season, he's averaging like 18 shots a game. That's not bad. You got players in the league that's taking way more shots than that.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100. But it's just something about that Randall, because it's so ugly when he struggles. He runs to that left hand. The whole league knows about that left hand, and you got 3 people on you, bro. It's somebody open. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes it seems like they just shooting shots to see if I could get it up. You understand what I'm saying? When Jalen Brunson is running his thing and he's moving that ball and they accept the assist. You understand what I'm saying? Accept the assist. You know what I mean? He throwing the ball. They want to take off because you're not ready on the catch. They go back to fundamentals, too, a little bit as I think about it. You know what I'm saying? Be ready to receive that thing and do something with it. You know what I mean? A lot of times he dimes somebody, but their feet not right. So now they got to take a dribble or something like that. They're not working cohesively as a unit, man. You know what I mean?
They definitely
especially
did not
Barry.
tonight. Yeah, especially RJ's struggling. RJ is struggling big time. There's no doubt about it, man. RJ tonight.
So now, as a leader, as a consummate pro, do something else for your team. You got a little 8 rebounds, bro. You are it. You got that big body. Move something, man. Stop looking for the ref to bail you out. You understand what I'm saying? Play no whistle, no foul, man. Let's ball. And then when you get a call, it's a blessing. But play, man. Don't look for the whistle all the time. Then you stay down court. You don't get back on D. You crying. You get a technical or some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Excuse the language. You understand what I'm saying? You're working against the team. You're working against the team. I'm not trying to put it all on Randall, but effort plays a lot. You understand what I'm saying? In the game, effort. And sometimes the effort don't look like it's there for them, man. You understand?
I mean, it definitely
like
did
they just
tonight.
Get on the same page.
Tonight. I think Cleveland played at such a high level with so much effort. The Knicks didn't match it.
Right.
They couldn't match it. They just didn't have it to match it. But if they want to
Cleveland
win
had
this
to play
series,
that way.
they got to bring it.
Absolutely. And I think they got a little comfortable, too, after they won that first one.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I think that you know what I mean, they came in a little big-headed and thought they could, thought it was going to be sweet. They could do it again. And Cleveland was playing for their lives, it looked like. You understand what I'm saying? Which is exactly how the Knicks were supposed to play. For your life. It's win or go home, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
you know, they were playing for their life because they knew if they went down 2-0, it's a good chance they come back to Cleveland eliminated. They knew that. So they were like, we got to
Absolutely.
get this win. And the
Absolutely.
Knicks, I think, were, you know, a little bit like, oh, well, you know, we came to get one. We got one in Cleveland. You know, I think they're happy with that, it feels like, you know. So we'll see. But,
See, and
hey,
this the playoff. Being a professional, you're supposed to be trying to build on that win. Let's
I
build
agree.
on that. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
I
I
don't
agree.
know.
Yeah. Hey, my
I don't
Can't
man.
know
argue
where you
with
point
that.
the finger. You think it's the coach? Who you think it is? Is it the coach? You know what I'm saying?
I think we can't tell. I think we can't tell until we see how the Knicks readjust. Because,
Yeah.
like, for
Yeah.
example,
I agree.
they adjusted to us. Now, can we adjust back? You know, can we make an adjustment to whatever they did? Then that's when we can start to tell what's really going on. But I think the Knicks got to now get a chance to adjust too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. And I'm gonna tell you something, right? A lot of people get down on that brother Westbrook, man. I'll take Westbrook any day because I know the effort that he's gonna give me, and it's contagious. You understand what I'm saying? They talk crap
Can't
about
argue with that.
Westbrook. Westbrook, 18, 7, and 7, man. You got starters that ain't giving you those numbers, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
You got starters that's not giving you the numbers.
I feel you, but you know the Knicks need shooting, and that brother ain't shooting the Brock. You know, as
Right.
far as
But
shooting,
you got to
that-
accept the assist. Accept the assist. When you
Okay.
spot up, see if you watch, what's a Hero? Hero. Is there any good shooter? They feet is right. Curry, all the running around that he do. When he catches the ball, he could shoot it or he could dribble it. The Knicks standing straight up on the catch, like you can't shoot or go by him because you're not ready. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Go
All right.
back to fundamentals a lot of times. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? It goes back to
Yeah,
the fundamentals of it.
The only
Okay.
person we got like that is Quentin, and Quentin got smothered tonight, so he ain't even get a chance to get that many shots up.
Yeah.
So I agree
Right,
We see
with that
what they
one.
do,
right.
but hey, my man, I appreciate your time. Thank you for the call,
Absolutely.
and look forward to hearing from you
Absolutely.
again, man.
All right. Y'all
All
have
right.
a good night.
Salute.
No doubt. Peace. I mean, the Knicks came into the series shooting 38% against the Cavs from the 3-point line. You know what I mean? They should be able to shoot. They're not hitting them right now. Defense is a little bit different. They got to figure it out. They got to step up. They got to
Facts.
adjust. I mean, they got to adjust. They will.
I feel like it's a
they
different
will.
game if just one person had been able to drain their shots properly. It's a different game because now you're spacing the floor differently, and they have to adjust defensively. I feel like that would have had a domino effect. But just the fact that we weren't able to make anything, it seemed like the whole night. Like you have to take that into consideration and be like, okay, yeah, nah, like this is not gonna be us the whole time.
Nah, we'll see. But anyway, man, I'm going to get up out of here. I'm pretty sure tomorrow you're going to have a whole day filled with content, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people got a lot of thoughts and opinions. I need to look at the game again so I can formulate some more opinions and look at some things that happened and try to break down some video, you know, and do it that way. But, disappointing loss. And I know that that's the crazy thing. We're going back 1-1, right? But I still feel like to lose in this fashion
Yeah.
is what's tough for me. You know what I mean? Losing in this fashion because I feel like we better than that. Way better than that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? To lose in the fashion in which we lost tonight. You know, and actually, before we get out of here, I want to listen to Tom Thibodeau. You know, and see what Tom Thibodeau has to say about tonight's game and losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Thibodeau. We're going to go ahead and get this thing on, see what he's talking about here.
After that first quarter, then that second quarter outscored 34-17. What did you see there?
I thought the biggest thing was probably the ball pressure. Garland got loose on us. Had a big first half. Mitchell made a number of good plays. They beat us to the ball. So, yeah.
You mentioned Garland. What was the difference tonight in terms of the way that you were able to defend him the other night that you guys couldn't do tonight?
Well, I think, when you look at it, we turned the ball over, so that was a big problem. Put them in the open floor. I think they had 18 turnovers. They had 32 points. So, that's a problem. The rebounding was a problem. So, Garland's strength is his shot. And he got going. He got into a good rhythm. And, it's too late when we started challenging.
Coach, I know you've got to go back and look at the film, but you come here, you split the series. What are your thoughts on what you can do differently when you guys head back home?
Yeah, we'll just take a look at the film. That's it. Each game's different. You're playing the same team over and over. So you take a look at it. Nothing changes in terms of how you process everything and how you prepare for the next game. So hopefully we've built that habit over the course of the season. Go back home, study, make corrections, get ready for the next game.
Tom, what were you most disappointed with about tonight?
I think we knew the challenge would be the intensity of the game. And so the physicality, the ball pressure, and then you got to make shots. And when you get blitzed, trust the pass. Make the second pass. And if you do that, you're going to get a good shot. And then you got to make shots. So, but the turnovers were a concern. The rebounding was a concern. So we got to correct that.
Did you have any problems with that foul, Jared Allen?
And it's playoffs. So, I'll take a look at it. I saw a quick replay, but, before I comment, I want to see it.
What was the thing Julius being out there at that point?
I'm just trying to get him some rhythm. That's, that was it.
They had talked about the physicality, trying to come back stronger, more aggressive. It was like they did. You guys meet it?
I'm sorry?
Did you guys meet the aggressiveness, the physicality?
Well, and that's the play. You're playing the same team and the same personnel over and over. So that's it. Each game it goes up a notch, and so you got to be ready for that. And so you got to embrace it.
Sorry. How can you guys do better after Jalen gets strapped and still being able to?
Yeah, just get to your outlets, and trust it. Part of that's the shot making, though. So if you have wide open shots, you got to knock them in. If we don't make them, you got to get to the offensive boards. So usually when a team is blitzing, it puts you in rotation. If you're in rotation, that means you're going to get opportunities to get second shots.
Once Jalen makes his outlet, do you feel like you guys move quickly enough to try to advantage?
Yeah, again, I want to look at the film. Usually that's one of our strengths, so I want to see it before I comment.
How do you think you guys responded to the big second quarter that they had, that big run?
Yeah, the second quarter was probably the difference. It was back and forth the first quarter, so I think they shot 38% in the first, and then they got on that run, and if you let a team go on a run like that, it's going to be a problem.
After game one, we talked about how much of an advantage your bench had, but this was not the case today. What did you see from the bench?
Yeah, we didn't play as well as we did in the first game. LeVert played really well for them, so and they're basically with an 8-man rotation. So Danny Green played, so that changed things up a little bit.
Coach, you talked about Julius finding a rhythm kind of late in that game. Same thing for Lee. He made some shots late. I mean, the game was out of hand at that point, but how important was that?
It's just, I actually was going to sub Julius out. He wanted to stay in for a couple more possessions just to find rhythm. And so, but with Quick, it was good for him to get some rhythm going. He's a shot maker, so we have great confidence in his ability.
Right. Tim,
Yeah.
RJ is, I think he's 6 for 25 in the first 2 games. What are you seeing out of him offensively?
Yeah, just keep trust the game. Trust your reads. So if they're blitzing, right, or if you're in the open floor, if the second defender comes, just pass. If you're open, if you have an angle, go to the basket, attack the basket.
Do you think he's taking the right shots?
Yeah, in game one, I looked at his shots. He had good shots in game one, And like I said, I thought he had 6 assists in that game. He had 4 steals. So if you're not shooting well, just do some other things to help the team.
Tony, your thoughts on Tom Thibodeau when saying he was going to take Julius Randle out, but then Randle, he was, hey, I want to try to stay in and get a rhythm, right, towards the end of the game. How you feel about that? You think he should have just said, "Nah, I'm taking you out," because now Julius Randle, hopefully, he got hit by Jared Allen, fell on the tailbone.
Gonna be sore tomorrow.
He's gonna be sore tomorrow, right? But do you have any issues with him keeping Julius Randle in at that time?
Not necessarily, not really. I feel like, if he asked to stay in, no, and then if it's Tibbs, because that's what Tibbs does, I'm okay with that too. Because I know that's who he is.
Okay.
So either way, I think like I'm okay with it. I knew it was gonna be brought up. I'm surprised. It's just, you mentioned it because he was asked it, but I knew it was going to be a narrative. Like that's going to be one of the heavy things talked about tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you know that. What about you, Savvy?
Well, no, I have no problem with it because Julius said that. But if Julius said he want to stay in because he want to get a rhythm, that gives me pause in and of itself.
What do you mean? Why you say that?
We're winding down the end of game 2. Julius Randle is probably the most important. If it's not Jalen, it's Julius, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like our scoring, if you're telling me that you're not feeling the rhythm and that your offensive output is not a byproduct of the intensified defense that's been played on you tonight, then I guess I could take something good out of it and say, even despite the defense, if you felt like you were in rhythm, you would have done more. However, if you felt like you haven't gotten in rhythm yet,
He's coming off an injury though.
Right. That's true. And they did mention that, in the broadcast that both him and Jalen Brunson, Jalen had missed 10 out of 14 of the last games, and that and Julius was coming in off of an injury and needed to sort of find some rhythm, get some burn, and get back into the chemistry and the habits that he had before. So in that light, it doesn't give me as much pause, but it's a strange thing to ask for from a player of that level of importance on your team in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Although I'm glad that he did ask for it and asked to stay, I wish he hadn't fallen the way he did because of Jared Allen. Somebody has to body up on Jared Allen next game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's more like it is what it is thing, Sim. You know what I mean? At this point.
Right. No doubt. I agree there. I just know there's a lot of people that's going to be like, oh my gosh, you should have taken him out. Now, hopefully, I think Julius Randle's okay. We'll probably hear more on it tomorrow. Let's listen to Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and I guess we'll find out if Julius Randle's okay. All right, so let's take a listen in, see what these guys have to say, ladies and gentlemen.
Just got to every other loose ball. They just played really well tonight. I gotta give them credit first and foremost. I think we actually, at first couple minutes, we had a decent lead or whatever, and then they kind of bounced back, but they responded tonight, and I just gotta give them credit.
Jim, when you guys have trouble matching their desperation and intensity?
They just play better, and we just gotta come back on Friday and stick together the next couple of days and just get ready to go.
You guys, for either one of you guys haven't had a lot of games like this where somebody opens it up and you don't make that run. Just kind of what you felt happened today and why it never clicked.
Like JB said, we gotta give them credit. Some of the shots they made it with tough shots. Feel like some of our turnovers cause them to gotta get out in transition and get easy ones and stuff like that. So we know they were going to be desperate, and we gotta make sure we have that same mentality.
How much do you think they fed off the crowd, and how do you guys think that you guys can do that when it shifts back to MSG?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, home court advantage is obviously huge, and give the fans, a lot of credit. They showed up, both games. So we got to go back. We got to realize, obviously, we're going to be at home, but that doesn't mean, that doesn't guarantee 2 wins. So obviously MSG is going to be rocking, but we got to go out there and execute.
Josh, how do you feel? How's your ankle?
It's solid. If I'm out there, I'm solid. No excuses.
It felt like you felt okay on it. There was no.
If I'm out there, I'm good. I'm feeling good.
How do you guys need to respond in the next game?
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Was there one area that you were most disappointed with Jim?
That's a great question. I love how we fight, and like I said, I give them credit, and they played really well. But I'm never really disappointed in my teammates. We go out there, we stick together. We win together. We lose together. I'm not really disappointed in them at all. We just got to be better.
Did you have an issue with the foul from Allen on Julius at the end there?
Excuse me?
Did you have any problem with the foul from Allen on Julius at the end?
The flagrant foul?
Yeah.
The refs called a flagrant foul, and Julius went to the line and knocked it down, and then we kept pushing after that.
Tibbs was talking about the ball pressure that they had on you guys. I don't know if the total was on turnovers a lot. Just kind of feel like some of that is attributed to them, or?
Yeah, they, like we kind of said before, they played desperate, and that's how it is in the playoffs. So, like I said, honestly, you can't really take anything away from them. It's how they played. We just got to be better. We got to respond and get back to the drawing board and stick together. And it's like I said before, we just got to be better and move forward.
RJ, that second quarter, what could you guys have done differently there? That's kind of seemed like that's where the game turned.
I think that's where we kind of lost the game. That's tough, to recover from. I think we got to do a better job of when they go on a run, we either got to stop it or, go on our own run. We can't just let them, keep going.
In the half court, what can you guys do differently offensively to work through their defense, which is obviously one of the best in the league here?
No, their defense is definitely, very good, but so is ours. And I think this game is more of who can, get steals and get easy baskets, get offensive rebounds, putbacks, who can, do more of the dirty work. I think that's the team that's going to win.
And heading back to New York, what are you going to take home? You come out here, you win one, you lose one.
Mm-hmm. We did our job, got one on the road, going back home. So now, got our crowd, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
RJ, how you feel about your shot right now?
Fine, I'm shooting.
When you went to the half, to the hole twice in the first half. You ended up pulling back and doing a little fadeaway. I know I've asked you like Tibbs' reactions to that kind of stuff before. How much of a problem does kind of their rim protection present in those sorts of situations? And do you feel like that was the right decision? Do you wish you'd gone all the way there? What do you make of those decisions?
They were open. It's a good shot right around the basket. Shot I practice every day. Also you can't do the same thing all the time. You got to switch it up. They have great rim protection, so you can't just go at them every single time. You know what I mean? So trying to switch it up, and I was able to. After that, I was able to actually drive and get some finishes in.
What was going on with the turnovers? But not just you, all you guys.
Man, they played good defense. They picked up their ball pressure. They were there on our little dump offs that we normally were making. So credit to them. They played a great defensive game, and that was really a lot of it was just the points they had off the turnovers.
When they trap Jalen, what can the outlet guy, whether it's you, Julius, whoever, what can you guys do to just better capitalize in those situations?
Just be available and make plays once he gives the ball up. Just make plays, make it easier.
Harris had a quiet game one, but he got going tonight. What did you see, if anything, that was different from your end, not your specific end, just the team's end, defending him?
Like I said, they were more aggressive, today. They had a couple of days where they were just thinking about that loss, So they came out aggressive from top to bottom.
Why didn't you guys match that, you think?
I think we did at the beginning. We kind of started out that way, and then like I said, they played more desperate than we did. Their crowd got into it. The guys started to feel good, but at the end of the day, it's still 1-1, and we got to go back to New York.
How do you guys feel going home now after games 1 and 2 here?
I feel pretty good. Disappointed in this loss, but it's a series. That's why it's first and 4.
What do you expect the tournament to be like, and why is that a special place for playoff ball?
I've had the fortune, playing in the Garden in the playoffs, so I know it's going to be loud. The fans are going to be into it. It's going to be great, great atmosphere. The most special place, to play, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, you said you're a shooter and you're going to keep shooting, but have you had a little trouble finding your rhythm these first 2?
No, not really. I also been making a lot of free throws, so shots fine.
What I think of the foul?
Yeah, did you think it was?
At this point, it's irrelevant. I thought it was a little unnecessary. Usually when you, I understand like playoff basketball, and you don't give up on plays, and I respect that. I'm somebody who plays hard. I respect that, but typically when you make those kind of plays, you run across their body, not through them. But it's fine. It's irrelevant. We get to go back to the Garden, and we'll see them there.
You're okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be fine.
Tim said that you would ask to stay in the game at that point. Is that
Yeah, at that point, just trying to get my legs under me, get a little rhythm, but, it'll be fine.
Everyone's been talking about how they threw the first punch, or they threw a big punch that you guys didn't punch back enough. Why do you think that is?
Who said that?
RJ, I think, was the one who said that.
Yeah, I think we had a strong start to the game. I think it was really just that, if you look at it, I think it's maybe the end of the first quarter, in the second quarter that hurt us. From that point on, we played even, we played well. So we just got to make those adjustments. I'm still turning the ball over way, way, way too much. And I'll adjust and correct that. But, at the end of the day, we came here, we did what we were supposed to do. We got one on the road and the big picture of things, so I'll be positive about that. But we obviously got to play a lot better next game.
Julius, when they drop Jalen and you're the outlet, comes to the top of the key, what can you do to better capitalize in those situations?
I got to take a look at the film.
You feel?
This is just my opinion. See, in the first game, it looked like you guys were bullying them. You got all these offensive rebounds. And This game, it didn't seem like that, certainly after the first quarter. Is that fair to say? Do you agree?
I don't think they bullied us.
I'm just saying, you didn't you weren't able to bully them?
I mean, they just responded to our physicality. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, in a playoff game, we came and took care of business game one, and they responded. You know, we weren't expecting the series to be over in 4 or whatever it is. We just take it a game at a time, so we just got to adjust, and we'll be fine.
All right, that was Julius Randle. Said he's going to be fine. So we should expect to see him on Friday. You know, he seemed to take a little bit of a, you know, a little offense when, you know, they mentioned bullying. He was like, you know, I don't think they bullied us, but that's going to be some things that go around. And I think that's going to fuel a little bit of fire for the Knicks. You know what I mean? I think that's going to light a little bit of fuel under the fire when people start saying that the Knicks were bullied. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that thing he said about Jared Allen, like normally you go this way, you don't go through the person. I'm like, oh, word, all right, like.
And
I like
we'll
to
see him.
hear talk
We'll
like
see him in the Garden.
Right.
Exactly, and we'll see him in the Garden. I'm like, okay, like this is all I wanted.
Yeah,
that's the energy I wanted.
I tell you what. You see Sims get some early minutes.
Right.
You know what that's about. Word.
And you know what's funny? I actually was expecting to see Sims get a couple minutes tonight. And we didn't see that because I had gotten under the impression that maybe Mitch was in foul trouble, and then we had to sit Hartenstein. I'm like, is Sims going to come in for a couple of possessions? But hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind it, especially because he can rotate out to the perimeter. But that thing that RJ said about how he can't just do the same thing every single time, right? When they asked about the mid-range fadeaway, I like that answer. But the way that they were asking the questions made me feel like he felt like slighted. And you know what's going around is that video, that hero ball video. I don't know if you watched it, Sim.
Nah.
Where
What was that?
okay.
What?
All right. So it's a little cartoon. It's a little funny
you mean
cartoon,
the Bleacher Report?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know, in the cartoon, there's a part where the dude says, "Oh, hey, slow down, guys. If we get lost, I'll get blamed and sent away." Do you think he watched that? Do you think he watched that video?
I mean, they watch that stuff. Yeah, I think so. They watch it. I mean, you know, right now they might be keeping themselves away from the social media stuff, though. So, who knows?
I feel like RJ's attitude is either gonna emerge, and we're gonna see him like, "Yo, I'm still RJ Barrett," or it'll go the exact opposite way. And it sound like from what he was saying that he got that fight in him still. So I was encouraged by the response.
I hope so. Because the Knicks definitely need him.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get up out of here. Like I said about a half hour ago. But I'm a rock. You know, might see you sometime tomorrow. You know, if I find some things that I want to break down, I'm gonna go back and take a look at. You know, I'm gonna go back and take a look at some of the game. You know what I mean? And you know, just look at some things. Try to figure some things out. Tony, any last words before you get out of here?
Enjoy the watch party.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wish I could be there, but I'll be there for game 4. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to the chat. Savvy, welcome back. Yo, Black, it's time.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Another watch party, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not going to game 3 and you want to enjoy being with some Knicks fans, then come to the MBK watch party at Legends on Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like being at the game, but it's going to be the next best thing. Let me say that. You know what I'm saying? The watch party is going to begin at 7 o'clock. The game will begin at 8:30. We'll be doing a live podcast from there. You know what I mean? Last time, we had the house packed. It was electric. Come join us. It's going to be pretty dope. It's going to be pretty dope, pretty fun. I'm putting a link in the chat right now where you can register. All right, it doesn't cost anything, but we want to register so we can keep track of how many people are coming and make sure we have enough staff there and all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm spamming my own chat right now. Click on that link, register to be part of or to come on to the watch party, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you there if you're not going to the game. All right, and yeah, come have a good time with us. Enjoy Game 3. And see if the Knicks can take a 2-1 lead in Game 3. All right? Savvy?
Yo, I want to say thank you guys for having me back on the panel. I want to say salute to the chat. I want to say thank you to the New York Knicks for bringing us back to the postseason and giving me a team to root for. I'm in heaven right now. Like, I love just watching playoff ball. Sim, it might be worth you doing that video and releasing it just before game 3, just so the Cavs players got less time to watch it. You feel me? Because I mean, it definitely seems like they're paying attention. Okay, and we want to give our team as much of an edge. It might be worth watching some of them and breaking down them more than we break down what we did for that same reason. Okay, because I feel like people lacing up for the Knicks is watching the channel. NYK all day, NBK for life, as it always been. Have a good night.
No doubt about it. I appreciate it, man. And we gotta get him back for playing Ether, though. I'm just saying. They played Ether, man. That hurt. They played Ether. Anyway, I'm out of here, ladies.
You know any NGK music?
Who?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, Machine Gun Kelly. Nah, I don't know nothing.
It's gotta be either that or some Kid Cudi. But Kid Cudi's music, it's a little bit too mellow and relaxed for me. But it don't even gotta be something regional. We could win the series and play No Vaseline on them.
I don't know if anyone's gonna get it though. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that,
it's a young squad out there.
Of course, it's some Cavs fans jumping in here. Come back on Friday, Cavs fans. Just saying that. We out of here, man. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.